What's good? We back with another one. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with that real boxing thing, the boxing clinic you dig. And you know, James Degale predicts that, Chris Eubanks Jr. will pull out the World Boxing Super Series tournament. Now, these two have beef. Chris Eubanks Jr. and Sr. blasted James Degale for not entering the World Boxing Super Series, and I'll get into that in a minute. They beef started with an apparent, rule being broke. It's one of the most sacred rules in old school boxing, and it's rarely followed nowadays. It's the fact that what goes on in the gym stays in the gym, and it's always broken nowadays. The Eubanks has said that Eubanks Jr. ran Degale out the gym. He left crying and pouting. And ever since then, it's been heated. Eubanks Jr., was dissatisfied. Him and his father as well was dissatisfied that, Degale didn't enter the World Boxing Super Series. They wanted him to be in there. It'd have been another title belt in there. I think he holds the IBF Super Middleweight title. It'd have been him, Groves, Callum Smith, and Eubanks Jr. right there. And that really would have took the star status of that tournament to another level, in my opinion. But somebody wouldn't have got in. Probably would have been Robert Brandt. He probably wouldn't have got in. He might have got in. But, like I've been telling you guys, Degale had a shoulder injury. He said he's been fighting with it for a couple years now, and he's just rehabbing it up right now. He said that's the reason why he didn't enter the tournament, because it's shoulder injury. And he said it plagued him in the performances versus Badu Jack and Lucian Bute. And I can tell, I seen him look a lot better, and I just seen an instant decline in his performance. I'm a big Degale fan. I just seen the instant decline. I seen him look a lot better than the Bute fight, the Porky Medina fight. I think he said that really started. And the Badu Jack, I thought he was a lot better fighter than that. And I just thought maybe he had maybe the Derail fight was the pinnacle for him. But he said he was dealing with a shoulder injury now. He thought he could fight through it and get through it, but now he chose to get surgery. And with the Eubanks, especially Junior, they just thought it was the worst time for him to have a surgery. So he said he's rehabbing it, when he has to. And he's on the up and up. He's trying to come back even bigger and badder and stronger. But, he said, after the Avena, the Turkish fight, I can't pronounce the guy's name. He said he sparred that guy for like 3 rounds. And they claimed that the guy had knocked Degale's teeth out. Which he said, I'm going to leave the article link in the description. Which he said his bridge was already loose. And he said, and then Degale just knocked the rest of his teeth out. Knocked his teeth out in that fight. So he's sparring with him around that time. And he said the guy left after 3 rounds. He said he's a very, very, very tough guy. He said it was a very good sparring. But he said Chris Eubanks Jr. should win, but it's a very tough fight. He said after that fight, he predicts that Eubanks Jr. will pull out the tournament. Because most people believe that, Jamie Cox has no chance versus George Groves, and I think he do. But call me crazy. Just for the simple fact of Groves, one major fact, let's put in there real quick. Groves always overlooks his opponent, and when he's overconfident, he's not that good as of a fighter. But and if Groves win, it'll be Groves versus Eubanks Jr. And Degale, thinks that Eubanks Jr. doesn't want that competition. He don't want that work. Now, I can second that, because actually, Chris Eubanks Jr. was offered, he was the number 1 contender for Danny Jacobs' regular WBA title before he lost it to, before he lost his status to Golovkin, and then went over to Ryota and Nadam. Now Nadam holds it. And Chris Eubanks Jr. was offered the Danny Jacobs fight, turned it down for a domestic British Commonwealth belt, whatever the hell it was. And like I told you guys, these guys act like they really want it. And I like Eubanks Jr. But he had an instant opportunity to fight for that belt and beat a mandatory to Golovkin. I don't think he wanted the Golovkin fight, especially how you gonna want the Golovkin fight if you're scared of Danny Jacobs or you scared to compete versus Danny Jacobs. Let me rephrase that. And then he says the other day on Dante's Boxing Nation, shout out to him and his channel, dope. In an interview with Dante, says that it was nobody at middleweight to fight, so he's really a middleweight, masquerading as masking as a super middleweight. But you clearly had the Danny Jacobs fight on the table and you passed it up. True shit. So at the end of the day, man, I'm siding with James Degale here. I don't think Eubank Jr. gonna pull out though, but if he does, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't with a fake injury or some shit like that. But I want to see Derrick Rose and Eubank Jr. fight. Hopefully they both win their first round. But we gone.